Hi everyone, Summer with a Story is Sen, and I know it's been a minute. I haven't been doing a lot of videos, and I have been watching. So even though I haven't been commenting, because I kind of forget, because I watch videos on the way to and from the town when I go to town, and that's an hour drive each way. I don't often comment because I'll be driving, and I don't do that and drive. Sorry, I just listen and drive. Anyways, so I am watching, and I try to remember to go back and comment on people's videos that I've watched, but sometimes I miss them, so sorry about that, but I am watching. And I know my videos haven't been coming, but time has been, there isn't enough. That's all I have to say about that. And my husband's been sick, and he has bronchitis, so it's been a couple of weeks of just really, trying to make him better, trying to help him, trying to make it to where it doesn't turn into pneumonia. He is doing much better now, and thankfully I haven't gotten it. Thankfully. Faye blessings to me, right? And other than that, I mean, even though I haven't been making videos or anything like that, it's not like I've been doing grand, giant things. I've just been living my normal life, doing my normal, everyday things. Life out here isn't normal, though. So I've been told. And lots of people want to see more of it, which is why I'm going to try to do more of it. It's just, I don't think about it because it's just something I have to do, and I have to do it each time, and I don't think about who would want to see it. I just do it. And so, yeah, it's hard for me to remember to record it. I've been doing a lot of creating. I made these cute little clover monsters right here. Aren't they adorable? They're little clover goblins, and they are all over in the Wispy Realm clover fields right now. They're everywhere. They're jumping all over the place, man. I got a whole table full of them that just happened to pop up. And then I created a fairy, and I think she's adorable. Oh my goodness. She's even got a little bottom. And I did a class on her. If you don't know, I am teaching polymer clay classes in a private group on Facebook. And I'll leave the details for that down in the description if you want to go check that out. But basically, it's just me teaching classes. I give 3 classes a month, and you pay a monthly subscription. And I do a giveaway for each piece I create live. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I have 7 videos up currently. 7 tutorials available currently, and you get to see all of them. Like once you subscribe for the subscription thing, you get to see all the past ones, and you'll get to see all the future ones for as long as you remember. But either way, I'm having so much fun creating them. I'm creating more fairies because I have the Holistic Expo coming at the end of March, and I want to have fairies for the Holistic Expo. It's the Spring Holistic Expo, and I totally want that. Other things I've been doing, we've been watching a lot of TV because Abby's been sick. So I don't even remember what we watched. It's kind of a blur. I don't like watching a lot of TV. I tend to read more than I watch TV. But I think we watched Oppenheimer for one of the shows. My hubby's birthday was on the 24th, so we watched a video, and he got to have bacon and stuff like that. I know it's really simple stuff. Out here, though, that simple stuff is important because it's not like we could just go to the store and get it. I have to think in advance. And since we buy our groceries a month in advance, I had to go to Town Special for him to get the bacon for his birthday because his birthday was on the 24th of February. And then reading-wise, I'm still reading the Fairy Faith in Celtic Countries, and it's a long process for me because it's a long process, okay? This is a very long book. And in the book, it's like everybody's telling their little folktale. So it's just a retelling. It's like a hand-me-down tale of somebody's experience with fairies. And that's really cool. That's what I'm looking for. But I only read it a section at a time. So I read one of those stories. And one of those stories, let me see if I can show you here. Let's see. So the story, this is the title of the story. That's the person doing it. This is the story, right? And then this is the next story. So I might only read one story. I might read 2 stories in a sitting, or maybe 3 stories in a sitting, depending on how much time I have. But I do take the time out of my day, every single day, to read at least one of the stories. Tarot, I've been in and out of. I've been doing it off and on, mainly because my time is so constricted that I have to pick and choose what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. And because I have so much on my plate with my business and being a homesteader, it's it is a pick and choose thing. Like, you know, do I want to spend time with my husband, or do I want to read about fairies? Do I want to read about fairies, or do I want to have a conversation for 2 hours with my daughter? You know, there's a give and take there. And when I say 2 hours for my daughter, I don't see my children. So I talk to them regularly, and that's important. Those relationships are extremely important. And if I'm not willing to put in the energy for those relationships, then I can't be expected to get that same kind of energy back, right? So I have to be willing to give up part of my day in order for that to be a thing for me. And these relationships are important. And I do it with my friends too, you know. Once a week, I'm talking to at least one of my friends for a couple of hours. And that helps keep the relationship strong and amazing. I want those people to be there in my life because I can't see them physically. I can't just, you know, up and go to town and be great about it. That's like 2 hours out of my day, and then whatever I'm doing, and I don't drive in the dark either. And then I have to worry about highway roads conditions, whether or not the roads are closed, and what the weather's doing. There's just a lot, and it gets overwhelming that way. And then I decide that I just would rather sit at home because it's a lot. And it didn't used to be that way. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when I first moved out here, I struggled so hard because I was so used to just getting out of the house anytime I wanted to and going and buying the craft supplies that I needed and all that other stuff. And now I'm used to it, right? We get used to our environments. We get used to the things that we're doing. And sometimes that's a detriment, okay? Sometimes it's a huge detriment because we get set in certain ways and we don't see a way out of them. But honestly, this move was probably one of the best things that ever happened in my life. It was so hard at the start. Like that first year and a half or so was, oh my gosh, I struggled, but I would do it all over again. I absolutely would do it all over again. And for people who want to live this lifestyle, I say to you, know what you want, because it is not for the faint of heart. Okay. It is not. It is not easy. It is not glamorous. It is not, you know, when everybody romanticizes it in their head, and they watch videos on YouTube about these amazing countrysides and you know, having goats or chickens or all. No. Okay, no. There are parts of it that are amazing like that. And when you see those things, it's really easy to romanticize that until you're stuck in the mud and you can't get out and you have to walk 7 miles, or forbid you're snowed in because it, you know, snowed 8 feet and then drifted everywhere. You can't walk anywhere because the drifts are taller than the person that you are. or spring comes and it floods because you're on a 2-track road that nobody maintains. Literally, it's a trail. The cows use it, okay? The cows. And it's not even our cows. It's the cows that live out here in somebody else's ranch that roams free because we're a fenced out state. Which means, unless we have a fence around our property, we cannot keep the cows out. And if any damage they do to our property is our own fault because we didn't fence them out, by the way. So anyways, then you get to spring where you get the floods, and then you're flooded in for a week because you can't get out. And there is more to this than just the beauty of wildflowers and making honey, or wildflowers and you know, having chickens. It's a lot of work, and it takes practice, and it takes resilience and confidence and breakdowns and people being supportive even if they're not physically here. So, and you know, it's not an easy lifestyle. I'm sorry. Off-grid living, homesteading, not easy. Just not easy. And especially if you're doing it the way that we're doing it, where we live so far away from the city and we are completely off-grid, and we have to haul our own water, and we get our electricity from the sun. And so everything we do revolves around the weather. Like, so much crazy. But it also brings me in tune with nature, right? There are benefits to doing this too. I'm not going to lie, huge benefits to doing this, but it's not easy. Okay. So you are thinking about doing this, just absolutely know that's what you want to do, because it's hard. And we almost gave up. We really did almost give up at one point, and something broke, you know, and it finally caved in enough for us to be able to handle it. So now we're at that point where we're handling it. We're doing really good. We're in a good place. We won't always stay in this good place, right? It's going to go up and it's going to go down. Like right now we are working on, the county wants to turn us in residential, We have 320 acres, and if we do not sell, it is now a thing, where if we do not sell $500 a year in something, farming or livestock or whatever, then our property gets immediately turned into residential, which means they can tax us differently for it. And that is not something that we were anticipating. So we have the goats, and we did sell the goats this year, thankfully, which saved us. But now we have to figure out how we're going to deal with that every subsequent year, because we shot our male goat because he attacked me, mauled me, and it was a very, very hard experience to deal with. And we raised him, and it was very hard to shoot him, but he was aggressive, and he would have just been, it's not like I could just give him away and he would be fine. No, he was aggressive with me, which means he would have been aggressive with other people, anybody else that we gave him to. So he ended up being food for a family. We gave him away as food for a family after we shot him and skinned him. So we don't have our male anymore, so I'm not really sure how we're going to sell more goats, because yeah, we're not getting another male. That's not going to happen. I don't know what we're going to do. And chickens, by the way, don't count in that livestock sale, like eggs and chickens and stuff. So I'm not really sure how we're going to go about doing this, but we'll get it figured out, I'm sure. And despite everything, even with that, I would at this point rather live outside the city than inside the city, because inside the city is kind of crazy right now. There's so much craziness. I don't even know. There's a place like Casper, our area isn't very pagan friendly exactly. Like, they're not completely against us as long as we're quiet and we're not making, too much noise or anything like that. But we've had a couple of pagan stores go up, and this was a couple of weeks ago, and one of the new pagan stores was sabotaged. They spray painted it, and I mean, they went in, harassed the owners, the people in there, and then they called the police on that pagan store saying that they had kidnapped somebody. Like, this is some serious stuff. And because they said that, the police actually had to go investigate. They didn't kidnap anybody. They were just harassing the establishment and trying to get them shut down, because they are pagan and witchy. And the police looked at all the video cameras and saw how they were being harassed and everything else, because this establishment has video cameras inside the store and outside the store. So they had all the footage and everything of these people coming in, harassing them, being mean to them, all this other stuff. And then, the following of calling the police to say they'd kidnapped somebody when they didn't, and all this other stuff. So it was a big, huge deal here, and it's becoming a big, huge deal because more and more pagan people are being more prevalent here and coming out a little bit more. And that is a struggle for our little city. We just literally built a Mormon temple. Yeah, this city's not really Mormon. We're more Christian based, but there's just a lot. And I don't really go into a lot of it because I don't really engage. As you guys know, I'm not a conflict person. So yeah, that's life now. I order most of my stuff online and get it in the mail. That way I don't have to go to the city sometimes. And I see my grandma once a week, and I do my fairy stuff at home, and I do my homesteading stuff, and I do my business stuff. That is literally my life. That has been my last 2 months. That has been my last year, okay? And I'm trying to get better, guys. I'm trying, but I gotta have time in order to do the things. I'm still reviewing tarot cards. I have several decks I need to do walkthroughs on, so those will be coming. But for now, I'm just trying to make it through a busy part of my world, and then I will get back to as many videos as I possibly can and keep moving forward. So yeah, that's my ramble. Thanks for hanging out with me for 20 minutes of my day. And I hope to see you guys again soon, okay? You guys have a very great day.